All right, man. We back. We back. What's going on? Appreciate everybody for tapping in. We're gonna talk about Anthony Joshua, Josh Tucker today. Latest Spence, Terrence Crawford news. Also, Lomachenko says he feel like he's still undefeated. Appreciate everybody for tapping in. Don't forget, do me that favor, thumbs up the video, share the video. Like what you're hearing, subscribe to the channel. Right. Um. So yeah, man. Anthony Joshua fought this weekend. I seen it. A lot of people had mixed reviews on it. I kind of expected AJ to walk through. I expected AJ to walk through Jermaine Franklin. Jermaine Franklin, shown to be a durable guy. Um, I think maybe his promoter or his coach said that he had a granite chin, and he had a granite chin. You had to give it to him. His chin was A1. His chin was A1. He took the punishment. Put myself together in my pajamas and shit. He took the punishment, and he landed some good shots on Anthony Joshua. He countered Anthony Joshua, but everybody think magic is supposed to happen overnight. Him and Derrick James gonna take time for them to get in sync, but you can see the influence. Fighting behind that jab. GK Black, what's going on? Fighting behind that jab. Controlling the distance. Being a little bit more accurate. So yeah, you've seen the influence. You've seen the Derrick James influence, and he got caught with some shots. As well. But don't forget, you can listen to this episode in the morning, 6 a.m. on Anchor or Spotify for podcasts. I forget what they call it now. I'll figure it out. Or Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon, around 10 a.m., 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So sometime in the morning, I hope. So if you listen to it on the podcast, do me the favor and rate it. Give me a rating. I appreciate that. Helps the visibility, help you grow, and all that good stuff. But yeah, I like the way Joshua was looking. He got his nose busted open, and people said he was more tentative. He don't have to kill it no more. Man, if you notice a trend with Derrick James fighters, they don't necessarily finish. Even Jamil Charlo knockouts, they don't come from him finishing somebody. They come out of nowhere with explosive punch. So if you notice, they really, I was hearing him talk about him training guys on the pad and how, he orchestrates the pad work to mimic real fights, and they don't do useless and waste punches. They pad work is the land, it's accuracy. You know what I'm saying? That's their pad work. So you got to understand, they like to control their fighters under Derrick James. They like to control their fighters at the end of their punches. So he done a great job keeping Jermaine Franklin at the end of his punches. I think he done a great job. How accurate he was, and people was expecting AJ to follow up with something, but you notice you don't really see Errol Spence follow up. You don't really see Jamil Charlo unless he hurt somebody one punch and he just finished him. It's usually one punch that come out of nowhere and hurt him. So them dudes ain't necessarily they're not the greatest. They're not the greatest finishers. They just accurate. They just wear you down. So that's one thing that you got to notice about the school of thought. And I think he controlled the distance. He got caught with a couple hooks. You see, they was trying to counter him. He ate them well. But they need the rounds to get in there. I don't really think the game plan was to walk him down. I think the game plan was to maintain distance, keep Jermaine Franklin at the end of his punches, and just win. So, a lot of these people get knee-jerk reactions to the performances. I understand you're only as good as your latest performance. I understand that. I really do. But sometimes you can get too high. Sometimes you can get too low on a fighter. Like when Jerron Booth Ennis fought Karen, it was a recipe for disaster because nobody knew who Karen Kirchovich was. So everybody expecting Jerron Ennis to go out there and knock him out in a round or two. It goes the distance. And I was like, oh my God, Jerron Ennis over here, he didn't knock this guy out. He can't cut off the ring, this, that, and the third. That doesn't mean that he ain't the real deal. Fighters have off nights. Fighters have game plans. Not to say he wouldn't get in the ring with, I don't know, Keith Thurman is not stopping him. Like, he getting there for, they just people take that saying literally too literal, that you only as good as your latest performance. I think, these fighters train for about 8 to 6 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks to peak on a Saturday night. So think about that for a minute. I was watching the 30 for 30 chasing Tyson with Evander Holyfield, and Mike Tyson said part of his agreement to fight real quick, hold on. Part of the reason he wanted to fight Evander Holyfield because he looked bad in his previous fight. He said, well, I'll fight this guy. He didn't look too good in his previous fight. So, and guess what? Evander Holyfield, popped up as the real deal Holyfield, and the rest is history. So, that's kind of, you can't really judge somebody on their last performance. And that's what everybody like to do in boxing today. When somebody have a vulnerability or somebody get exposed for vulnerability in performance, everybody want to jump in the ring. Well, I used to like what Brother Nas said. He said, I don't want to be the last or the third or fourth to the buffet. I want to be the first when the food is hot. And it's not a lot of trailblazers no more. A lot of these dudes wait for guys to get chinks in their armor, then they want to jump in the ring with them, but they don't want to be the ones to expose and exploit or just exploit those holes and do it. But I do think AJ was just following the game plan. I think AJ looked good. He came in heavy, and part of that performance is about being efficient and pacing himself. I don't think he understood how to pace himself in a real fight. Obviously, he didn't trust his win. He was saying, well, how Spence and Crawford and Floyd had great stamina. One, you comparing guys who damn near walk around half your weight. Two, they know how to pace themselves. They know when to pick it up. They know how to pace themselves, So that's the difference. Tyson Fury is a cardio freak. So apparently he does a lot of running and conditioning, and a lot of it got to do with genetics, but you got to just know how to pace yourself. And Tyson Fury know how to pace himself. He know how to get a break in where you are leaning on you. He just know how to pace himself. And in a fight, it's the same thing. You know what I'm saying? When you got guys that's running distance is a lot different from sprinting. Short distance is controlling your breathing. You know what I'm saying? That's a huge part of it. And really being able to pace yourself and knowing when to pick it up. And you know what I'm saying? So, Anthony Joshua and Derrick James is pacing himself. He being more efficient. Y'all got to understand it's a filler. And Eddie Hearn said, well, he may not be able to get away with fighting somebody else like Jermaine Franklin. But, you got to do what you got to do to rebuild his confidence. He got a new trainer. It's the third trainer in 3 or 4 fights. So he got to do what he got to do. You got to take your time and build it the right way. See, everything with Eddie Hearn is about money. That's why he fucked up Kell Brook opportunity to fight Manny Pacquiao and get paid. Eddie Hearn just looking in the short term. He not looking. That's what boxing is. They look at the short term. They're not looking, in the future. Everything is short term. Nobody's forecasting. Obviously, a lot of forecasts can be bullshit. You can say, well, this forecast looks exceptional, or this forecast looks bleak. When you get there, it's a great forecast. You get there, it's a bad forecast. It's a bad actual quarter. And that's all they do is in boxing is look, they just look what's right in front of them. They never look ahead. And if Anthony Joshua got to get 3 or 4 more fights like this to build his confidence and get into a rapport with Derrick James, that's what he got to do. That's what he got to do. And ain't nothing wrong with it. He said you could tell Joshua still second guessing himself in the ring, but not a terrible performance. I mean, you got another coach, so it's always something. Of course, you second guess yourself because you are learning some of the things your other coach tell you. You're trying to put in new habits. It's just gonna take time. Dion salute, Bernardo salute. Put AJ in with Whiter the boys. And be white ass, but yeah. At least that'll financially make money. Support the channel, Cash App, $ CJ Good 313. Lavish, what's going on? So but yeah, I mean, with Anthony Joshua, bro, it's just of course you second guess yourself. I'm doing this wrong. It's just three different training styles. You got Rob McCracken, who we've been with a long time, Robert Garcia, Angel Fernandez with Ryan Garcia, and Rob McCracken. And then you got Mushmouth, Derek James. So of course, you second guess yourself, making sure you do it. To me, it looked pretty good. Jermaine Franklin can fight and he can take a punch. You got to give it to him. Jermaine Franklin can take a punch. So I just think it's the biggest thing about him is second guessing his conditioning. I just think that's something that he should look at. Big Baby Miller don't deserve shit. Let's be real. Big Baby Miller don't deserve nothing. He looked terrible. You can tell that what he was taking was having an effect. He can't even get back in shape. He trying to talk himself into a payday. When you had your opportunity, you would want to be a clean fighter. He didn't want to be a clean fighter. But yeah, man. Let's move on. So apparently, let's talk about Jahi Tucker real quick. So I don't know how many people seen the top ranked card this weekend. Actually, it was a really good card. You can tell I ain't had shit to do. I sat down and watched it. I like Isaac Darbe as well. And when I turned it on, it was the Jeremiah Milton guy was just in this. I heard people talking about it in the Discord. I thought, let me turn it on. So I was checking out Jeremiah Milton, and then that fight went off, and they had confusion whether it was a 6 or a 7 rounder or 8 rounder. The judges' cards only had 6 rounds. I had never seen nothing like that, so I had to get cards for 8 rounds. And this Jahi Tucker kid came on before. I don't never think I seen Jahi Tucker before. So I had never seen him before. I heard the kid's name before. But apparently I came in like right at the end of the Jeremiah Milton fight. And apparently I came in at a great time, right? So I'm like, he fighting this Nico, whatever. So this whole backstory for this fight is basically like Jahi Tucker wants to fight Xander Zayas, right? So this Nico kid from Georgia Republic, the country, not the damn state, trains with Xander Zayas, so he stepped up. So apparently, this kid, Jahi Tucker, had missed a welterweight limit in his last fight by several pounds, I believe, and was making his debut at 154 pounds. So they was fighting at 152. And the thing about it was this Nico kid fought as high as light heavyweight. You can see the way he was built in this fight that it was matchmaking going bad. But you got to understand this Jahi Tucker kid is trying to get Xander Zayas, which they're not gonna make that fight no time soon, and nor should they. And never know what kids this size coming up. So you gotta remember this kid was a welterweight. Coming up where the gloves get 10 ounces, get to be 10 ounces more. I'm trying to get a better picture of this fight. But the gloves go up 10 ounces, so it's a different thing. And you can tell the difference in their physique in this fight. You could tell that this Nico kid was fully grown into the weight class. He was built like a grown man out there, And Jahi Tucker, you can tell didn't really fill out the way. I'm trying to get a great picture. I ain't got too many great ones up there, but you can tell that Jahi Tucker really hadn't really filled out the way he should and they fought the catch weight, but the way he really should, he could fill out at the division or whatever. But this Nico kid came out throwing like really, really bombs. He was touching Jahi Tucker pretty good. And I mean he came out there, he touched his chin so much, bro. You would thought he was braiding his chin hair, his goatee. And Jahi Tucker took it and he came back and he started putting it on this Nico guy. And I can't even say that he was actually hurt. He got stunned by some really good shots in the fight, but I really never seen him hurt. And he ate that shit, and he just proceeded to finally pick up his hands. He finally picked up that backhand. Stopped getting hit with that left hook. He started catching it, rolling as the fight went on. His biggest mistake was keeping his hands down, and then he was pulling up straight up. and straight out. But they was going to war. This is how top ranked grooming their prospects against really dangerous opposition. This other guy only fought once, lost once, and I mean it was entertaining from round 1 to round 8. I mean there were some points taken away by for Jahi Tucker for hitting when the referee said break, even though the referee didn't see Nico hit him first. This was one of them old, dirty, nasty, old school brawls, and obviously Jahi Tucker's, I think, moving up in weight benefited him with the energy, and he was able to outlast the Nico guy. And I think where he succeeded at was he listened to his corner and touched the body a little bit, and he just dogged it out. It was a dog fight. I don't think Nico really lost much in this fight. You know what I'm saying? I don't think he lost much at all. I think his stock will rise too. The problem with him is he started to fade. He's putting everything in every punch, and he was trying to catch this kid coming out cold. And this kid came prepared. He made some defensive adjustments, but he started walking him down, touching Nico's body, putting his punches together. And Nico was landing here and there, and then he finally started catching and rolling in left hook. But I mean, you'll never see another really. You don't see too many of these prospect rites of passage fights neither. I think this was the kid's 10th fight. I could be wrong. I think it was this kid's 10th fight, bro. And he matched tough. Very tough. You know what I'm saying? The guy that he was fighting was very tough. He only 20 years old. Yeah, it was his 10th fight. The other guy he fought was 8-1. But this dude was this dude was pretty big. So he started off as a fucking cruiserweight, technically 177 and 3/4, excuse me, and worked his way down to 54. So he really wasn't fighting no small guy. And this kid is impressive, bro. And when he fills in at 154 pounds and finally fill in there, I wouldn't rush him, but I like him a lot more than Xander Zayas. I just don't see the hype around Xander Zayas. Maybe I ain't seen enough. Every time I watch Xander Zayas, I walk away and I'm not impressed. I'm not impressed at all. I like this kid a lot. It's some immaturity there. I mean, yeah, that's just that New York shit in him. Want to go tit for tat, and mentally they are a little fucked up in New York. Excuse my language. A few little loose wires in their heads and shit. But he gets it. He was in there talking shit to Nico, and the ref was saying shut up and stuff. So Tulsa, Oklahoma had a good card. They got treated to a real good. That was a real good card. It was a great card. Daube and Ramirez was a good fight. Just Daube missed a lot of opportunities. Joey Gonzalez and the other Mexican who face was swelled up pretty bad. It was an all great card for ESPN, man. That was and my intentions weren't even to watch the card. I know I wanted to see Daube and Ramirez, but that was one of the best. That's probably the best fight card other than as far as undercard, other than Caleb Plant and Benavidez. That's the best fight card I've seen all year. Yeah, that's the best fight card I've seen all year. Especially on regular TV or that network TV shit. That's the best fight card I've seen all year. I appreciate GK Black in the super chat. Appreciate you, fam. I seen it. I'm in the cash app. Yeah, that's the best shit I've seen all year. They was on that motherfucking. They was thumping the whole card. The whole card they was thumping. He said Top Rank got another good card this weekend. Shakur, Keyshawn, Big Baby. He's on Jordan, Troy East. I seen they had Abdullah Mason was on this card too. I missed his fight. Ricky E, what's going on? Shout out to New York City. J Cash, Money Man, salute. He said, what you think about Shakur card? Oh, I don't know. I ain't gonna lie. I know he fighting somebody. But I don't know. But let me see. I don't know. Man, I seen him fighting. I think Bam Rodriguez fighting this weekend too. So yeah, I ain't gonna front. I don't know. I don't know much about that. The guy he fighting undefeated. Yeah, he beat Nakatani. He KO Nakatani in 6 rounds. Don't look like he's been outside of Japan. Nope. He hasn't been outside of Japan. So yeah, he ain't been outside of Japan, so it should be a treat. It's one of them fights. It's one of them fights that these one of those fights that the innocent Karen fights. A guy who unknown, looked pretty good. Went some rounds against Shakira, and people started calling Shakira underrated. So I mean, yeah, you got some decent names. You got Shushu on here. Shushu on here. You got Keyshawn Davis' brother on here, Calvin Davis. You said Troy Isley. I never heard of him. Got knocked for a knockout. So they got a lot of young talent. George Arias on here. They put him in there with Big Baby. Yep, putting him in there with Big Baby. Jared Anderson. Oh, Keyshawn fighting Anthony you get. That might be solid. I thought you get was more of a 40-pounder. I think for a roll he wanted to squeeze down, but he blew the weight. So you get it solid, or jerky guy. So they moving a lot of these dudes pretty fast, bro. Yeah, they moving a lot of these guys really, really fast. The Moretta losses was brutal for Dog, but yeah, it was, bro. You can tell he's scared to get hit again. Shakir first fight at 35. The Jordan Gonzalez fight was live too. Yeah. I said that. Shakir making a statement Saturday. Yeah, I seen him do an interview on Fight Hype where he said that he ain't never been more focused on boxing as he is right now. So that's good to hear. That's real good to hear. So I mean, we gotta wait and see. Well, let's move over to y'all boy Lomachenko. Yeah, mine, why Jesus mine. Yeah, mine, this is why Jesus love mine. I ain't been the same, mine. Hold on, I don't know what's going on here. My bad. I ain't been the same, mine. There we go. I don't know why I did that. So apparently, Lomachenko said, in my mind, I'm undefeated. That's why I sleep very well at night. And one thing about Lomachenko, he's one arrogant son of a gun. There's one thing we can't say about Lomachenko. He's arrogant. And a lot of his losses, in my opinion, came because he was arrogant. That's why a lot of his losses, that's why a lot of his losses came Salido. He was too arrogant to make Salido, who blew off the weight, do a rehydration clause. He didn't respect Salido. He thought he was a different pedigree of Orlando Salido. And the whole boxing world was room for Salido, and Salido rehydrated high, and he had a problem with Salido in there. People could say, well, Salido was overweight and he was punching him in the balls and shit, man. He should have made Salido come in on weight. Should have made him weigh in again for blowing off the weight. He didn't. And then he felt that he was better than than Teofimo Lopez, and he overlooked Teofimo Lopez too. His greatest weakness in this game is that he arrogant. That's his great. That's Lomachenko's greatest weakness is his arrogance. That is his greatest weakness. This is why he loses. Yeah, he feel I'm undefeated, and he really believe that. I think he believes he sits on a high horse alone. I think he believed that pound for pound shit because of what he did in the amateurs. But the fact is, he lost to Orlando Salidos, he lost to Teofimo Lopez, and we'll see what he do versus Devin Haney. But he ain't undefeated. And then don't forget how Top Rank tried to tell us that he was undefeated. He tried to tell the public that he was undefeated. Remember, Top Rank put that thing up there and said he still was undefeated. And my thing is, I don't understand why they pushing him so hard. I don't understand why they're not. Nobody buying it. White America not buying it. White America is not buying it. They're not getting a return. They putting $100 in and they losing $100. you know. But in his arrogant mind, he believes he's undisputed. I mean, he's undefeated. He believes he's undisputed. And like I said the other time, the only thing I really didn't like, but I respect, is Devin Haney giving him opportunity when he failed to give him one. And boxing need more of that. Boxing definitely need more of that. And show people how it's done. And Bill said that Ingus told him that he told him that Devin would never get a shot. And that's crazy, bro. That's crazy. And these are the type of backdoor deals, this type of shit they do behind closed doors. You know, and boxers want to understand why it's in the gutter. You know, so do I believe that's what he think in his mind? Absolutely. You heard people say how he carry himself, like he better than everybody else, and how he arrogant and all that, and that's cool. But the fact of the matter is, he lost, and we'll see what he do versus Haney. But he believe it. He believe it. You know, some people talking about Deontay Wilder can't accept his L's, but you don't see people saying this about Lomachenko can't accept his L. He's a sore loser. And if he can articulate it in English a lot better, I think a lot of people will see what I'm talking about. You know, he really think he better than all these other people around the sport of boxing. He really think he God's gift to boxing. The top rank is getting the air pump. They putting it in inside his ear and blowing his head up higher, bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. You know? And then he wanted Teofimo Lopez to stick around and give him a rematch when he wasn't going to be willing to give Teofimo Lopez a rematch. That's what I never understood about people. They want you to do shit for them that they're not willing to do for you. They want you to sacrifice for them when they're not willing to sacrifice shit for you. Everybody wants you to, you know, everybody want what you call it? Everybody want the benefit of the doubt. Everybody want grace. Everybody want to be able to get a second chance. But ain't too many people willing to give a second chance. Ain't too many people willing to, you know, turn the other cheek. Ain't too many people willing to help somebody else out. Everybody just out to save their own ass. He need to take his L like a man. And what's gonna be about Devin Haney? I ain't with that war. And watch, it's gonna be excuses. Sympathy and no sympathy. You know what I'm saying? He just can't fathom he getting his ass whooped on a professional level. Straight up. He said Rolly had to throw elbows at you get the win. Said GK, I believe it. I'll be in attendance. He said, sup, Fotex, what's your thoughts on the power move, merger, UFC, WWE, part of this? I don't care. Don't make me no difference. I don't watch the WWE. So I don't get how that's a big deal. In the business world, it is, but I don't watch the WWE. So I don't understand how the WWE and UFC gonna help each other. What they gonna run commercials and what they gonna make trades and shit? That don't mean nothing to me. It ain't no big news. What does it mean? Who cares? More fucking events over in Saudi Arabia. It's not going. It's this Saudi Arabia, UAE is not the remedy. It's not the antidote to sports to help sports in America. It's not. It's more harm than it's more harm and foul if anything. Sport channel Venmo CJ Good 313. Bro, F is amateur record. Dude was 25-year-old beating up 15-year-old prepubescent boys. Johnson salute. He said, I respect Loma will fight anybody though. He wasn't trying to fight Devin Haney. He signed his belt over not to fight Devin Haney. Come on, let's say that. He didn't sign his belt over, didn't he? He won't fight anybody then. He wouldn't have took this fight. He was trying to get out of this fight. He was trying to get out this fight. You heard what Bill said that Ingus told him. Ingus didn't deny it. He told him that you will never get this fight. Y'all was never getting this fight. So evidently, he ain't willing to fight everybody. So you can't say he willing to fight anybody. He ain't want this fight. Loma said the refs cheated him versus T.O. Didn't hear the same screwy water guy because he don't speak English. He don't speak English. Even if he did, it wouldn't even have been the same backlash. Why am I tripping? Remember, McGill Cotto said the judge cheated. They should have robbed Austin Trout for him. He said that shit. Ain't nobody had no ill will. They only got ill will for the brothers and the sisters, bro. They only got shit for the brothers and the sisters. That's all they do. Loma started running to prize when he went up in weight. Of course, that's why a lot of people consider Manny Pacquiao great, even though in a lot of the weight classes Manny Pacquiao performed in, he was a world champion. They were secondary or bullshit ass belts, and he was draining people. If Loma wins at least 4 rounds, they might give him the fight. Yes, of course, it's a real thing. Devin Haney got to go out there and channel his inner Australian again. Gervonta Davis and Ryan Garcia undercrash. Who all on undercard? Just seen Gabriel Rosado or somebody. You knew it was gonna be trash. Let's not forget Loma duck Pacquiao. Yeah, I ain't see that happening. Loma Triple G Kovalev all high machine. Kovalev can go though. I get Kovalev is just Kovalev was trying to fight motherfuckers. He tried to fight Adonis Stevenson and Al Heyman came and saved him. Kovalev was fighting motherfuckers though. So I gotta give Kovalev his credit, his racist ass. He was fighting dudes. Pound for pound, but turned down the biggest fight in his life with Manny Pacquiao. Well, I ain't blaming him. Shit, Pacquiao would have put his dick in the dirt. D-Lo 404, what's going on, bro? Y'all subscribe D-Lo 404 boxing. Said makes sense, CJ. He was born the same day as MJ. Who MJ? And we knew he was arrogant. Oh, he's yeah, I didn't know that. Yeah, he was. He is. He said King to be expected. They main event fighters are making too much money for the undercard. Yeah, of course, Don Kings have bangers, bro. You knew when we less than 3 weeks out that the undercard was gonna be trash for Tank and Ryan. I mean, come on, it ain't announced it yet. Don't see how Loma think he beat T.O. Dog, baby, dog, he beat Roberio Ramirez. I'm like, what the fuck was he watching? What's going on, KY? Salute. That's what I was trying to think. I woke up and niggas, I'm like, thought they run. Like, what fucking, man, come on. Loma is the reason why Devin Haney was getting called email champion. Devin got to put the beast by joint on Loma. Yeah, he was. And nobody got mad at the guy who signed his belt over. I'm telling you, man, boxing is just different, bro. It's just so much shit that's backwards. Hold on real quick. I don't think I'm charging my phone. My power was flickering and shit. I don't make sure all my shit charged. Oh, shit, I got the wrong. Hold on, I got the wrong cord in there. My bad. But yeah, man, you know how that shit go, man. Media control a lot of shit, man. A lot of shit. A lot of that shit, man, you gotta be able to decipher and all that bullshit. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be able to decipher all the bull job that come with it. And that's and that's just how the shit is. But nonetheless, I think that I do think that he's a good fighter. When somebody try to force feed you something down their throat and it ain't working, it's one thing to force feed, force feed, force feed like a Pacquiao or something like that who got some validity. But he said, "Yep, the same stuff going on right with Angel Reese and the LSU female basketball players." Yep, I'm telling you, bro. Like they can dish it, but they can't take it, bro. And they want to condition black people to think that we crazy and shit. Jocelyn, he said non-corrections. Eastside Lee salute, but like I said with Lomachenko, he carried that confidence, and like I said before, we'll see. But telling your management telling another man that he'll never get to fight, to me is wild. To me, it's super duper wild. And that's the type of shit that go on, bro. They want to know why the sport not growing. You know what I'm saying? And when you got the media on your side saying, well, Devin Haney don't do this. You had Terrence Crawford go through the same thing. Terrence Crawford don't deserve this, that, and the third. Man, I'm a fucking champion. How don't I deserve something? How don't I deserve something? I'm a fucking champion. How do you tell somebody that they don't deserve something being the champion in the sport? How? And then you got, fans and media members getting mad at Terrence Crawford, getting mad at Devin Haney. You know what I'm saying? Getting mad at Jamal Charlo when he was the mandatory to Canelo and he signed off on the franchise. But y'all getting mad at the wrong people. Why should we want to see David Benavidez and Canelo Alvarez? And everybody always hit you with this nonchalant, Canelo just walked through him. And I'm just like, who is Canelo walk through? Who has he walked through to say that, bro? Who, old ass Angulo, the Euro bums, who has he really walked through for y'all to just have so much confidence? It's always, he don't deserve this and he ain't did this and he ain't did that. And that's boxing undoing. If I got a belt or if I'm the mandatory, by the letter of the law, I've done enough to deserve it. And when the fans start echoing that, when the fans start saying that, it's a bad time for boxing. It's an extremely bad time for boxing. Extremely. We shouldn't be talking about how a fight ain't cooked, how we need to marinate, it ain't ready, and we should, anybody pushing that bullshit. If somebody think they're ready in the ranking and say they're ready, they're ready. They're ready. If I'm the interim champion or I'm the mandatory or whatever it may be, they say that I'm ready. I'm ready. Should no fan say otherwise? Should no fan say otherwise? Should no fan say otherwise? Simple as that. But let's end it with this, man. So apparently Crawford and Errol Spence, their negotiations started back up. Apparently we all knew that. You heard Coach Flick, Jared Hurd, the shit said he heard it's happening. You heard Keyshawn Davis say he wanted to fight Frank Martin on the undercard. Frank Martin got another scheduled fight. Keyshawn actually fighting Saturday. You hear it should be an announcement pretty soon. You hear the article I talked about earlier on Boxing News 24. They was speaking for all the Spence fan girls and fanboys. Errol Spence should move on, and Errol Spence is wasting his time with Terrence Crawford. Crawford ain't popular enough, but Fondora is. Jermell is. Tim Tszyu is. How is Jermell, Tim Tszyu, and Fondora more popular than Terrence Crawford? They're not. They're not. And that's kind of been Errol Spence fans' whole agenda, is to steer him away from fighting Terrence Crawford. That's been their whole agenda the whole time, is to steer him away from fighting Terrence Crawford. And at the end of the day, Terrence Crawford, Errol Spence taking the fight. And to me, in his mind, he ain't got nothing to lose. His excuse is going to be, why take tough fights coming off long layovers. I wish I would have got a fight in between there. I could have been a lot better. That's the built-in excuse. Oh, I was already ready to move up in weight. Oh, the car accident, I wasn't the same. The eye injury, I wasn't the same. No matter what Terrence Crawford was going to do, they were going to take away from this man victory regardless. And one thing I like Steve Foden said about him going over to Japan, which they rescheduled it for July 25th, for y'all missed it, is that he doing it for him. He said, I'm going over there for me. I'm doing this for me. Fuck the fans. The fans will never be satisfied in the sport. In this sport. You know, Vander Holyfield went through the same thing. Larry Holmes went through the same thing. Whatever Larry Holmes did was always overshadowed by what he did to Muhammad Ali. It was always overshadowed. It was never good enough when the media and the fans and make their mind up that they don't like you. You just got to have a fuck it mentality. Now, I was listening to Charleston White. I think I shared one of the videos in the community tab. And he says that a man's greatness can never be measured until he died. And the dude who channeled was Anton Daniels said, I want my shit now. It's a lot of shit that we want now. You see females and fathers die, right? And you know, they put these posts, or their father's sick, they put these posts about how much they love them and what they did for them, but you don't ever see them like post that shit while they actively alive a lot of the time. And that is a real true thing. A true measurement of a man is measured when he's gone. Look at guys like Nipsey Hussle. You know what I'm saying? It's sad but true. You ain't gonna get your credit while you here. You know what I'm saying? That's why a lot of dudes have that infidelity. That's why a lot of dudes be fed up. That's why their granny walk around grumpy and shit. You know what I'm saying? This is why you got a lot of dudes that just choose not to really settle down. They want to be celebrated in here and now. Here and now. Same thing with Floyd Mayweather, Terrence Crawford. All the haters for Floyd Mayweather over the years, when he retired, they do a movie, a documentary. They're going to put him on a pedestal and celebrate. Muhammad Ali, same thing. He was loved by plenty and hated by plenty. But, when you start looking back on his life, you start to credit him. He just got put on a pedestal of how great he truly was. And sometimes, it's just the way it is. It's just the way it is. You look back, and I was listening to Mike Tyson. I was watching 30 for 30, Tyson again. And Mike Tyson said, when people look back on Evander Holyfield and see all the guys he beat, he gonna get his credit. He's gonna get his credit as a great fighter. And Terrence Crawford is gonna be on that Evander Holyfield list. It's unfortunate. You don't want to be the boogeyman. You don't want to be on the same list as Larry Holmes and Evander Holyfield in this vein. Great fighters, but never was appreciated the way they should have been appreciated while they was fighting. You didn't start hearing people yelling Holyfield until he started beating on Mike Tyson as an underdog. And the whole thing about Evander Holyfield and the whole documentary about Evander Holyfield, it was about nice guys finish last. About how the media and fans are attracted to negativity. You can make that same correlation throughout life. A lot of people are attracted to negative things. Negative music, negative significant others. They only pay attention to their kids when the kids do negative things. And that's something that you want to just cleanse your, get your chakras clean. I don't know what you do, meditate, go on a sign up. At some point, the one thing I try to do on social media is now share a lot of positive things. And it won't get as much traction as you, but we got to stop, being attracted to negativity. Because when you come home, the first thing you want to just relax when you come home. You want to, even if you can't relax, you want to be somewhere where it's comfortable. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people don't want that. A lot of the people thrive on drama. They thrive on negativity. They run on that shit like a regular car run on 87 gas. And for Terrence Crawford, he's been pitted as the villain. Even though, for the most part, family man, stayed out the news for bad shit, tried to be honest, been vulnerable with his frustrations, openly with the media about not getting a fight. Another guy been in some bullshit. It's fucked up. And if you go in there and put on a performance of an ass whooping, the performance of a lifetime, don't get diminished. And if he in a lose-lose, other than getting some money, he in a lose-lose. Beat the shit out of, it's a car accident, he was weight drained, he stayed too long. And if he win, I mean, you get all the belts, but then again, it's an asterisk. But ain't nobody putting asterisks by Manny Pacquiao victories draining guys. Ain't nobody putting asterisks by Canelo got caught with the needle on his ass. Ain't nobody putting, him putting these secret rehydration, second, third, alleged weigh-ins in. The media try to tell you who's the hero and who's the villain. But a lot of times the people who the media put on the pedestal is the villain. And this man got to go in there and inflict bodily harm to Errol Spence. It's as simple as that. He got to inflict bodily harm. I don't think just winning is good enough. I think he got to try to put this hoe in the wheelchair. It is what it is. You don't want to do thy brother like that, but hey, you don't want thy brother to drag my name through the mud, drag my family name through the mud, stop me from getting a good meal. Fuck, everybody keeps saying like Deontay was reacting at the Benavidez and Plant fight to, Usyk and Wilder, falling off. Oh, it's just the business. It's the bid. It's the bullshit. It ain't the business. It's the bullshit about boxing. That's what it is. It's the bullshit about boxing. Ain't that much business in the world, bro. And now they say it's an announcement coming soon, and it was a great opportunity to announce the fight versus Benavidez and Plant. Next great opportunity to announce the fight is versus Ryan and Tank. It shouldn't be this many details to finalize and dot I's and cross T's and tie shoes and tie loose strings. It ain't that much shit in the world. This shit, what Terrence Crawford want, what y'all want. It should be easy. Y'all been talking for over a year about what needs to happen in this fight. It should be at least a 12 to 14 week a build up to this fight. And then you look at Gervonta Davis and Ryan Garcia build up. I mean, shit, where's the marketing money going? They might as well pocket the marketing money, bro, because there's no marketing and promotion out there for these fights. The 24/7, bro, man, it looked like some wacko shit with Gervonta and Ryan Garcia. Am I tripping? That was not entertaining at all. And people be trying to, compare that to 24/7. You can't. Showtime ain't HBO. The documentary, the narrator voice, the actors or the fighters. It's boring. They better off just saving their fucking money, bro. They better off saving their money. Ain't no way somebody look at that 24/7 and say, "Well, I want to order the fight." Based off what? You can't look at Ryan Garcia talk on 24/7 and be like, "Oh man, I can't wait to order this." Fuck no. Tank neither. And people say, "Well, they're the most popular in Crawford." Popular based on what? Social media followers don't mean nothing, bruh. It don't mean you're gonna make no money. It don't mean nothing. At all. So I wish the winner of Haney and Loma were facing the winner of Ryan and Tank. Ryan said he would want to fight Devin next, so I don't know. Certified player, what's going on, bro? Salute. Ward definitely deserves more appreciation while he was fighting. He wasn't negative. Vander say, somebody told me, nice guys finish last. They do. You do. Man, I've seen the nicest dudes get fucked over in marriages. The dude, the lead attorney, said on YouTube, he said, man, One of the biggest mistakes you could be while you married is too agreeable. And that's true. Any relationship. I'm not hopping up. Anytime somebody asks me to do something, if I can do it, I can do it. If I don't feel like doing it, I'm not fucking doing it. They put so much on our plate as men, bro. Like at some point you just feel like you better fucking dead at some point, dude. Cause they want to put all the emotional, the physical, and then your granddaddy paid all the bills and did this shit, that, and the third. Like, nigga, you can go down inflation. That's why I tell guys, man, make sure you put yourself first sometimes. Because if you don't, who is? I always tell guys that, man, put yourself first sometimes. Fuck them kids and that girl sometimes. And your mama. Shit, you working your ass to death for what? Go do some shit nice for yourself, man. Get your feet rubbed. Go get a massage. Go get whatever you do. Get an ounce. Go rent a boat or some shit. Go save up for a boat. Put yourself first, man. Because if you don't put yourself first, ain't nobody else gonna put you first. Father's Day come, you get a damn a pen, a tie, some bullshit, man. You get a dry ass steak from off the grill, man. Go put yourself first, man. Someday go out by yourself and go get you $100 steak, bro. Fuck what the public think. Y'all deserve to be happy too, man. Instead of trying to find happiness in a side bitch, bro, find happiness and peace with yourself for a minute. But they fight, I'm more likely gonna go. I want to make it to the Haney fight too, but if they fight, I'm gonna go. I want to get out there. It's about to get real nasty out here. You see what they doing with what's going on is they trying to make cash obsolete. You know what I'm saying? They won't be able to track all the money you got. So the street dealers that's still selling the strong you like, any cash, they see how they go on Cash App now, and they ask for you to take taxes and shit out of Cash App. They want everything to be digital so they can freeze your shit how they want it. That's what's really happening. That's why they telling you the dollar going down. They want all the currency to go digital. And if I had to be a betting man, if I was a betting man and you wanted to kind of get around the digital bullshit, it's gonna take them years to make cash obsolete too. But if you really wanted to get around the digital shit, man, I think you would have to invest in gold. I'm not an expert. I think you would have to invest in gold. And since 2000, 2003, gold has jumped up 500,000%. I believe in profit. So yeah, I think you would probably want to look into those type of raw material or something like that, to be honest. But they want everything to be digital so they can control even more. So if y'all don't understand, man, it's crazy. It's crazy. They want, and you start going to the basketball games and shit, and you start going to the basketball games and shit. Now they're not even taking tickets no more. They're doing digital only. He said gold, silver, bullion is the way to go. Gold to silver. Yep. Copper as well. Yep. Shout out to Kobe and Ricky 245. Yep. So if you're looking for like a true alternative in which they'll never go out of style, it's got to be like those raw material shit like that. And gold got a great interest rate, bro. It's phenomenal. It's 500% since I want to say 2000 or 2002, 2003. Got any questions, I'll answer them. But yes, a phenomenal. So that's just the way to go. But it's take years to get rid of cash. I mean, it was neighborhoods in Detroit where, like Southwest Delray, Southwest Detroit, where people were buying houses and they were knocking the walls down and finding a tremendous amount of money saved in the walls from when the Great Depression happened and the stock market crashed and people would have high cash and walls. They want to track everything you do. You hear Elon Musk talking about putting a chip in people's head so the meta universe can know what I forget. I was hearing my man's brother Rob, what's his name? Robert Alberzine, I forget the dude's name. Your brother from Branch of Islam talking about it was a huge reason him buying Twitter and shit. So remember when people in Wisconsin got the chips put in so they can clock in and clock out of work. It was real controversial and shit. So it's all about control. That's what religion, politics, law is about. It's about control. But yeah, a lot of these sporting events is now they going digital. The national parks, somebody sent me the video. A lot of them going digital. They're not taking cash. I'm like, who the fuck go to national parks? You know, fuck, I like going to Yellowstone, Yosemite Park after seeing Cocaine Bear. I'm good. But yeah, they saying that this fight is gonna happen, and you know, so be it, man. So be it. I mean, if you Terrence Crawford, you just gotta be like Stephen Fulton and do it for yourself. You know, and Evander Holyfield, man, every time he did something, they would diminish whatever he did, no matter how great it was. It wasn't good enough. It wasn't good enough. It wasn't good enough. It wasn't good. Same thing with Kevin Garnett, Kevin Durant. It wasn't good enough. It wasn't good enough. You got certain guys that the media, you know, pick out, and it wasn't like Mike Tyson was a positive guy. The media got the right to turn you to a hero or a villain. You know, or you know, they could, you know, they the only ones that look to vilify a nice guy or a nice person, nice woman. You know, and a lot of your true villains that's created in the real world are created by common folk. Common people create villains a lot of the time. They do. You look in every comic book, you know, damn near every comic book, you know, superhero, you know, the villain is fucked over by regular people. You know. And then to somebody make a stand or do something bold, everybody want to care. They didn't vilify Terrence Crawford. You know, he didn't vilify the man. Took care of his family. Stayed in his community. All he did is wanted an opportunity. And this dude sat there and drug his name through the mud. You know, strung him along because he didn't have the balls to fight. Tried to age him out. Fucked himself over. You know, talked about the man finances. Talk about, you know, how Bob lied to the public about how played the role perfect. He got the answer for all of that. You got niggas deleting their channels now because they know what time it is. It's time. They know what time it is. It's 187 on the undercover fish. Yeah, and it don't stop. You know? And they could have fought 2 or 3 times, made a bunch of money. He could have went down a fucking legend. But now they telling you, you got Fondora, you got Tim Zoo, you got Jamel Charlo, all better fights. Terrence Crawford is not popular and he doesn't move. That's what PBC favorite line is. We don't make any money. What about Caleb Plant and Benavidez? It did under 100K. Well, Bob said, who would know more than Bob Arum? Ask yourself that. Who would know more than Bob Arum? Got any questions I'll answer? Who would know more than Bob Arum, who's been in the game long as hell? Who would be more credible than Bob Arum, bro? Because we ain't heard Showtime come out and say shit. But they re-showing the whole fight card. Who would be more credible than Bob about knowing these things? I tell you, they only did under 100,000 pay-per-views. Don't blame Bob Al Heyman for raising the price. You have to pay the fighters. And the first thing they do is what? First thing they do is what, nigga? Pay themselves. First thing they do is pay themselves. That's the first thing they do is pay themselves. They don't want to cut the fighters in on shit large enough. You imagine the amount of money they made off Mike Tyson, bro? If they could pay, you know, Mike Tyson, Holyfield, well, I don't know. Let's say $40 fucking million, bro. Come on. You think the pot was 80? Fuck out of here. The pot was at least 120 or better, if not more, especially with rights and all that other shit and promotional banners and sponsors and all that shit, bro. And in boxing, they ride, they living and robbing day by day, Saturday by Saturday to get by. Nobody having the foresight to see. Let's sit down. Let's see what we can do with this. That everything is a get out of town robbery quick thing. That's all it is. And this fight should have happened bare minimum last year. It should have. It should have. And now Showtime threatened to pull away from the table. And now they want to rush to the table and now make a deal. All this was buying time, bro. That's all it was about. It was about buying time. That's all it was. And if Showtime would have committed, if Showtime would have committed to them and gave them a new deal, you wouldn't be seeing this fight, bro. But they on thin ice. They on thin ice. They on thin ice. They on thin ice. So they got to make these fights. If they got the money before these fights were made, if they got this money before these fights were made, guess what? Guess what? These fights wouldn't be made, bro. Tank Davis would be fighting another Garcia, Hernandez, Rodriguez, Sanchez, Chavez. He'd be fighting another one of them. He'd be fighting another one of them. Let's call a spade a spade. He'd be fighting another one of them guys you never heard before. And that's the God honest truth. That's the God honest truth. So, wrestling got better foresight because they got to. And wrestling fucking suck these days, but they got to. They got to because it's all thought out. It's all written out, so they have to. That's all wrestling is foresight. That's all it is foresight. But nonetheless, but it should have been happening. There shouldn't be no reason why they can't bind together and come to solutions to make these fights happen. There's no reason. And it took for Showtime to pull funding and all that shit for them to make that fight. That's what it took. And now he want to make fight because now Al Heyman got to make this an attractive business for somebody else to want to buy or buy in or invest. That's all it is. But when they announce it, everybody get invigorated, everybody be happy and hope that we get to the fight. We get to the fight, people gonna buy it, people gonna watch, people gonna stream, the whole nine. The whole nine. But y'all got any questions, I'll answer them. But yeah, people still gonna be interested. Mark my words. You don't get too many great summer fights. Well, that kind of be springish, summerish if it's the 17th. You know, this is a huge opportunity for them. It'll be right after the NBA Finals, I believe. So these would be great opportunities for them. But it shouldn't have took so long. It shouldn't have took so long. You know, but that's all I got for y'all today, man. Appreciate everybody for tapping in. Listen to this on the podcast in the morning. Check all the link tree to find me everywhere from Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, Spotify, Anchor, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal. Appreciate the love support. Peace.